You know, there are many facets about cannabis, the end result being the growing of the plant. Now, here to talk about what their company does behind the plant, so to speak, making his very first appearance on New to the Street, is Agritek Holdings CEO, Michael Friedman. Michael, welcome to New to the Street.
Thank you for having us here today, Ken.
It is our pleasure. Now, give us an overview of Agritek Holdings.
Well, Agritek Holdings was actually the first publicly traded company within the cannabis sector, fully reporting on the OTCQB about 7 years ago. What we've tried to do is bring a different model to the sector, meaning a 360-degree view of the company, where we actually have land holdings and real estate, provide infrastructure funding, and at the same time, brand creation to offer to our licensees and retail dispensaries. So it's that 360-degree model that we really feel sets us apart.
There's so many places to go within the cannabis industry right now. There's so much going on between local governments and federal governments and regulations because they want the cash, but the states want the cash and the federal government wants it. They want to tax it, but it's not legalized everywhere.
That's correct.
That's a challenge to deal with.
With 26 states now regulated, some recreational, some medicinal, every municipality, every city, state in the U.S., not even talking about other countries, has different rules and regulations. So when you're out there as a public company, and certainly as an investor, trying to make the right decision is something that you really have to do a lot of research. And that's why we've chose to sit back, watch what some of the other companies have done, watch where they've made their mistakes, and invest our money and partners' money with hard assets, as I said, these real estate holdings, these brands that we have, which are tangible assets. We're not trying to create some new technology, spending millions of dollars on, not trying to recreate the real, basically providing the picks and shovels for the industry.
What separates Agritek Holdings from others within the wellness and medicinal cannabis sector?
Agritek does not grow directly. We do not sell. We basically buy the land, or we buy the buildings, or we provide the infrastructure money. And then once we have you as a licensed vendor, we then offer you our brands and products. And presently we have properties in Colorado, almost 100 acres there with water and mineral rights. We have operations in Puerto Rico, 25,000 square feet, and we're looking at other properties and acquisitions as well as partnerships in manufacturing for what will be the largest market come January, California.
It's really fascinating because we're talking about properties, and real estate is huge, huge, huge in terms of business. No matter what, it's all about location, location, location. And with Agritek and the booming cannabis business, that builds up huge demand for growth. And I'm not just talking about plants.
If you do it smart, which is what I've tried to do, make the right investments with as little money as possible, get equity interest in these operations, and create brand awareness, you're simply owning the store, have the tenant in the store, and then providing him with his inventory of accessories.
Psychologically, as the CEO of a big company, how do you deal with such a fiscally booming business that you can't really hold your hand under the till and catch everything because of what's going on in Washington?
I've never dealt with an industry where the next day you simply have to change the rules. So these investments that you make, everything could change within a month based on whatever municipality you're working in. And certainly the banking industry has not caught up to the $20 billion in growth that this sector is going to do next year.
It's not an easy situation to deal with when it comes to you guys wanting to draw all that capital, and it's there, and even if you make the money, you have no place to put the money.
That's correct. It's the only sector where there's so much money involved, and yet banks say we can't take your account, yet these growers and cultivators are responsible for at least 30% in taxes for the crops they grow, and they take that money to the bank, to the IRS or the state government tax to pay the taxes, and they deposit in the bank. But you as the cultivator, or you as the retail guy with the dispensary that's trying to get an 80-year-old cancer patient or somebody that's dealing with chemotherapy or glaucoma or epileptic seizures.
It's terrible.
You know, that's what these people are trying to do. And quite frankly, that's why I'm involved, you know, in this industry and trying to let people know that this is a medicine. A lot of very respectable people and doctors, attorneys, and senators, and our governments both on the state and federal level, has come out that this is a medicine, this is real, this helps people.
And they know
that's
that.
why we're involved. That's
But
correct.
the federal government knows that.
That's correct. The hypocrisy is, of course, if the big drug companies would admit that, we wouldn't have the issues that we do today with this industry.
A fascinating angle of the industry we touched on off camera before was the hordes of cash these companies are making, and there's really no place to put them. So the natural segue becomes, where's the stash of the cash?
Well, that's true, and that's obviously held privately, whether it's from everything from under mattresses into safes and vaults and safety deposit box of these cultivators. And again, our angle is, unfortunately, as a public company, we can only take revenues through rents of our properties, through business loans we make for infrastructures, and through royalty payments on all of our products. And that's our MD Vape line, our MD Strip, our sublingual line, and all the other things that we do out there as far as products, a flat royalty fee for setting up franchises and jurisdictions, because you also deal with the fact that you can't transport your product over state lines and all these regulations. But I'm always up for a challenge, and that's why I continue to fight this battle.
I mean, it's a really fascinating aspect of the cannabis industry, all the money that's being made and all the stuff that companies can't do even if they want to help people. It's really, it just, there's so much to talk about.
You have over half the states in our country that have voted positively for this. Several states behind, as well as you have now Canada making the first leap for decriminalization starting next year in 2018. California coming up finally with a comprehensive recreational program, which will make Colorado, Puerto Rico, and all these other territories look like sandboxes.
I compare the cannabis industry to the ultimate game of dominoes, where if you take 1 million dominoes and you stack them up, once one falls, they're all going to fall. It's just a matter of when. And then everybody's going to get paid, because that's what this is all about.
What it comes down to is a deal between the drug companies and the banking, and somebody just to finally sign off. We have all these tax revenues coming into the states. They ought to be able to deposit their money. The people that are contributing to the new schools, the growth, to Colorado, to Nevada, to all these places, they ought to be able to get a corporate bank account. And that's where Agritek Holdings got its start. And we understand the banking industry from the mobile payment side to the credit card processing, and we're waiting for the green light to do that.
Well, if people want to learn more about Agritek Holdings, the website is?
AgritekHoldings.com.
Michael Friedman, thank you very much for joining us.
It's been my pleasure, Ken. Thank you.
Our pleasure.